It's Beth Sager with the Lexington Local, and today I'm here with Paula Sacco and her business, which is Thrive Coaching and Retreats. I like the retreat idea.
I just got back from Sicily, so I'm
Did
excited
you?
about that. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your business.
I am a certified positive psychology coach. So a little bit of background, back in the late 90s, the president of the American Psychological Association realized that they had been spending years studying mental illness, and that they wanted to switch and see, like, what are people doing that are flourishing and thriving. So they started putting a lot of research dollars into really understanding that, putting some research behind it. So I take the tools like that they have found work through research, and I teach people how to use them to make their lives, just feel better well-being, happier, more resilient, lower stress.
Oh, that all sounds good.
Yeah.
So who would be your clientele?
Well, I have different ones. So I run my coaching groups mainly with women.
Okay.
And typically I work with empty nester moms or early retirees who are kind of entering this new stage of life saying, what's next for me? I've spent all my time, being a parent or taking care of other people. So it's an opportunity for them to stop and say, like, okay, how do I want to be intentional about my life going forward? What's important to me? What are some tools that I can start using to, start feeling better and learn more about myself? So mainly my coaching groups and retreats are for women.
Okay.
And then I also do corporate workshops because companies are realizing that there's a lot behind this. Like, bringing happiness into the office makes a big difference in the bottom line, and how people feel about their job, bringing meaning to their job. So I do a lot of strengths work with companies. So I've done that as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So give us a tidbit, like, what's the easiest way to happiness?
Okay. So I've developed this acronym now because it's really, I realize, like, this is kind of cool. So it's GPS, right? So it's like a GPS in your life, or like heading in the right direction. So the G stands for gratitude. Okay. So there's a lot of research behind the power of a gratitude practice, and it's, just switching the way what your brain's focusing on. We're wired to look at the negative and the threats in our environment. So it's really easy to do that. So what a gratitude practice does is it switches it. It makes you more aware of the good in your life, what you're grateful for. So then all of a sudden you start noticing it more and you start feeling better. Okay. So that's gratitude. P stands for being present, like being focused and present in the moment. So that has to do with mindfulness. Having a mindfulness practice, meditation is wonderful. A lot of people struggle with it, so I won't go down that road. But it's such a great component to, like, boost your well-being. Okay. But it also could be like taking a mindful walk, or being present with your dog or outside while you're walking. And then the S is strengths. So knowing what your strengths are and focusing on that instead of saying, well, what are my weaknesses? I want to overcome them. You want to look at what your strengths are. So we have a specific strength test that we do, which is the VIA strengths. It's actually free. You could go online and take it. Yeah. Okay. And it's so eye-opening. Like, people really love it, and it helps with relationships and So GPS. Okay. That's it. And there's a lot of other good stuff.
All right. But, So before we get into the retreats, which I feel like I'm really interested in hearing about, like, how did you get involved in this? Like, right?
Okay, I'll start back at the beginning. I'll make it short. It was 2003. I had 3 little kids, moved away from my support system, and I was really struggling. So I found a parenting coaching group. So my background had been in business. I have an MBA, had left my work, was staying home full time. You know what that's like.
Yeah, I do know what that's like. Yeah.
And that group changed my life. It's not an exaggeration to say that. I learned how to take care of myself better, to shift my mindset, to think about things differently. And then having the support of other women was key. So anyway, when I thought ahead, okay, what do I want to be doing when my kids get older, which is this time of life, I said, I want to look into coaching, like what that would look like to become a coach, and jumped in, took some classes. I loved it. I really felt like I found what I was meant to be doing. Started a coaching business focusing on moms with young kids at the time, moved back to Boston, and then discovered positive psychology and went back to get certified in that. And that again has been just really me personally, it's made such an impact. And then when I teach people and see the change it makes in their life, especially during the pandemic. I mean, I started running coaching groups, and seeing the change in their life is just so rewarding. So it keeps me going. I love it. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose you would, because you're helping others, right? Like,
yes,
you get a lot when you're helping someone else, right?
And it's also really about connection, like having the women connect with each other. And I think that, like, at this stage of life where, you know, your kids have moved on and maybe they're at college, maybe you're not interacting as much with other women. So it's kind of like a way for them to connect with each other and support each other.
So there's a group coach.
Yes, I love doing group coaching.
Okay.
So I do that virtually. So I run coaching groups online. I also do one-on-one coaching, and that's over the phone. And then the retreats, of course, are in person. And occasionally I'll do in-person like gatherings or active. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the retreats.
Yes.
Tell us.
Okay. So my dream, like years and years ago, was to run a retreat to Italy. So I had done a semester abroad, loved Italy, saw like how transformational travel can be. Well, I love traveling. So I had it as a dream, and I had to do a project for my positive psychology class. Okay. And I made developing a retreat my project, so I would actually get it done. And I ran my first retreat to Italy. Then I did one a weekend on Maine. Then I went to Sicily, all filled, and COVID hit. So I had to reel that one back. But I did end up running it just a few months ago, and I did one to Sedona. So it's a way for women to really connect with themselves, with each other, you know, have an immersive experience where they're away from their regular routine. They're out, like when we were in Sedona, you know, some of us did a balloon ride. We were out in, you know, nature doing hikes. So it's a great experience for a woman to like step away from her normal environment, learn these tools, be self-reflective about what they want to do. That's my dog, Desi.
Are we taking too long? So you went to Sicily.
Yes. And so I love the retreats because I love planning travel, and I see the change like that they get from just being there, doing work, having that experience with each other. So it's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I've heard from some people, like through the pandemic, it allowed them to sort of open up their business, right? Like, did you find that as well, that now you could be coaching people who don't live near here, or, you know?
Definitely. So the retreats, it obviously put a damper on, but it made me step back and say, okay, what can I be doing? And I started the groups online, the Zoom groups. And, you know, at first I was hesitant because I was like, I don't know if people are going to want this, you know, would they want to pay for something right now? Because I started up right away, like in April of 2020. And then I saw the impact that it had. People were showing up, they wanted it. I actually have a group that started in that April of 2020, and they're still getting together. We're still meeting. Really? Yeah, I'm still running a group for them. So, you know, it's a good support for them. And
is that what you anticipate in your coaching, or do you usually feel like, you know, it's 6 months and then they sort of have the tools, or some people like it forever? Like, how
it's a little bit of both. I wouldn't say forever, because I feel like once you get a good foundation and you're practicing and you know what the tools are, it's always great to have the support, you know, of a coach. I mean, I have a coach. I love working with coaches, of course. But I find that, you know, some women want to do a short workshop, others want to do 3 months. My coaching packages are usually a little bit longer, like 6 months. So it really depends on the person. And then there are the women that want to just go on a retreat and get what they want out of that, and that's it. So yeah, it really depends.
Where's your next retreat?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually looking at one in a Vermont weekend. Oh. Yeah, for probably the springtime. Okay. So looking to do something local, because I have a lot of people who reach out and say, I want to do a retreat, but, you know, can't really travel internationally or go far. So would love to do a drivable New England one. I did one in Maine once, and it was wonderful, you know, to drive up and spend the weekend.
So you just take care of everything, and they just show up?
Yes.
To it,
yeah. So they show up, they don't have to do anything. I'll usually have a chef or have the meals prepared. Sedona, I hired a retreat person to help me, like, with the organization. And but yeah, I mean, the idea is, like, they feel taken care of. They don't have to worry about all that, you know, anything that needs managing logistically. I do that.
You do everything.
Yeah.
Oh, fun business.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is fun.
So what else do you think people need to know about you?
Let's see. About me?
Well, about your business,
okay.
or about
so,
anything.
You know what it is? I think that it's simple tools
Mm-hmm.
and techniques can make big changes in your life.
Okay.
And that, just practice. It's like exercising and go to the gym, right? Like, it's good for you. Sometimes it's like, oh, okay, I got to do this as a routine, but it's like once you start doing, you see the change.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like simple things like a gratitude practice or being mindful. It doesn't even require, putting your sneakers on and getting to the gym.
Right.
So I think that's it, that you have the power to change your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, so much in your life changes. Like you're healthier, you feel better, your relationships get better. So a lot of it centers on that, like knowing that you have the power to make those changes and change your mindset.
Nice. Have you put your kids through it?
Yeah, well, they don't go through my official program, but no, I've done like their strengths and coached them about that. My daughter really likes it, so she's open to listening, and my other son. But yeah, it's helped me so much as a parent. It really has, like just, navigating, parenting, everything that they've gone through. It's helped me be in the mindset that's going to help them better. And it's also helped me teach them the tools that they can use to manage their life better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
So,